So we get underway with the first of 5 final races of the opening round of the 2021 B&L Karting Series season, as the sunshine has started to burst its way through the clouds here on Easter Sunday. Here's your starting grid for the first of 5 finals. Junior Rotax up first, 35 drivers, well, could be 33, but let's have a look at the starting order. Tomas Stolsamanis from Latvia goes into this event, well, this particular race, on pole position ahead of Kai Rielers, who lines up alongside him on the front row. Matthias Turlo and Tom Braken round out the top 2 rows ahead of Ethan Jeff Hall from the United Kingdom and Thomas Strauven from Belgium. Bruno Mulders and Farin Mega round out the top 4 rows, whilst Nick Gerhards and Casper Schermans make it an all-Dutch row 5 and thereby complete the top 10. Theo Blin, Edgars Wilkans, Joip Rieveld, Enzo Bol, Julian Kloosman, Tommy van der Stroys, Vic Stevens, Jori Schoens, Luc Nielsen and Max Knappen round out the top 20. And completing the running order will be Janis Stiak, Montego Maassen, Enzo van den Dickenberg, Devian Hurst, Thijs Dams. Ralf van der Pevert doesn't look like he's come out of the pre-grid, so might be a non-starter. Javi Bach-Machtdiok in 27th ahead of Antoine Borgio. Well, it looks like Ralf van der Pevert has shown up on the timing screens. Austin Lee and Richard Thomas running out the top 30. Boluet, Olivier Jonkers, Baptiste Levesac, Pat Gubbles, and it looks like, unfortunately, Rune de Broeke, due to start in 34th, will not take the start. Stolsamanis won the previous race by just over a quarter of a second ahead of Rielers, with a significant gap behind back to Matthias Turlo. However, this is the final race of the weekend, and at the moment, it's one win apiece between Rielers, Joip Rieveld and Tomas Stolsamanis, and that nets you 25 points. So coming into this race, Kai Rielers, on the benefit of doubt and through my assumptive qualities, trying to remember points, Rielers actually leads the way in the championship standings. Through into turn 12 we go for the final time for Junior Rotax. A couple of stragglers, 3 or 4 of them at the back part of the field, as the field starts to get into the tram lines. Is this going to be a clean start? Looks like the timer has started ticking away, and Rielers already on the outside going through into turn 2, and that looks to be Matthias Turlo that's got up the inside, and there's been an absolute melee coming out of turn 2. 2:16, Olivier Jonkers in the walls again. Richard Thomas in the 2:20 also involved, and there is one kart that is not taking any further participation and is stuck between turns 2 and 3 and was backwards heading on the opposite direction of the racing line. But meanwhile, Tomas Stolsamanis has managed to get an initial breakaway, and that looks to be substantial in the first 45 seconds of this race. Kai Rielers in second, was in second, and looks to be in second at the moment, because at the minute, other drivers have made their way through the field. Tommy van der Stroys has made his way up into 15th position as we complete lap number 1, as Matthias Turlo trying to go toe-to-toe with Kai Rielers going through turns 2 and into 3. Tom Braken has got Ethan Jeff Hall, Thomas Strauve and Bruno Mulders. Strauve trying to go up the inside of Ethan Jeff Hall going through turn 4. That was never going to happen in a month of Sundays, but it does through turn 6, and Mulders gets through as well. So Ethan Jeff Hall loses 2 positions in one corner at the same time. Matthias Turlo going side pod to side pod with Kai Rielers and forces his way through turn 8. Rielers retaliates and counter-attacks through turn 9. This is going to open the proverbial floodgates if they keep on battling, because Strauven's ahead of Braken. Braken back up the inside of the 299 going through turn 10 as they now make their way through in towards turn 11. Rielers goes defensive, Strauven up the inside of Braken, going through for P4. Bruno Mulders trying to go alongside the 218, but has to slot in behind as he defends from Ethan Jeff Hall. But then, Strauven gets turned around as Mulders goes up the inside of Braken going through turn 2. That has caused a concertina effect. And there's been more contact. The 205 and the 292 come together. That's Joip Rieveld And the 292, I think that was, or 282, couldn't really catch the number. If it was the 282, it would have been Montego Masson, but he's carried on. That was Javi Bach-Martiuk that went literally T-boned Joip Breedveld as Breedveld got turned around coming out of turn 3. The Constantina effect happened following on from the spin as Mulders went up the inside of Bracken to get past, as Straven went past Bracken. And then Mulders went through as well, and that allowed Mulders to now go up into 4th position as Kai Relitz trying to battle away with Matthijs Turlo, the Belgian up the inside of the Dutchman, going through into turn 2. Relitz makes the move stick. And a bit more changes behind as Bracken battling away, and that was with Ethan. That's not Bracken, that is Nick Gerhardt. He's had an absolutely brilliant start, courtesy of all the incidents that were going ahead, and Casper Schormans goes up the inside of Ethan Jeff Hall. So Casper Schormans now makes his way up into what is 6th position. So Ethan Jeff Hall rounding out the top 7 at the moment. Tom Bracken a little bit further behind now. And he is ahead of Edgars Vilkans from Latvia. Enzo Bol rounds out the top 10. So we've had 2 retirements. Tommy van der Stroys out. Devian Rust out. So Tommy van der Stroys must have been caught up in all that melee that happened going through turn 2 and then into 3 and 4 as they are squabbling all over each other at the minute. And that is probably from Casper. That's probably from maybe Enzo Bol or Max Knappen backwards. Joip Breedveld and Jory Schoens will imminently be confirmed as the next 2 out of 4 retirements we already have. So some drivers really making good ground. Antoine Broggio up into 11th. Thies Dams up into 13th. Thomas Straven recovers to 15th. Austin Lee now in 19th ahead of Francis Baptiste Levisac. And Richard Thomas Montego Masson in the 282 from Germany running on the Maranello chassis. He looks to be tumbling down the order as well. 8 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock remaining. And Bracken now battling away with Edgars Vilkans. That is for P8 as they hustle their way through the left-hand sweeper at turn number 11. So Stolzemanis has a consummate comfortable gap of nearly 1.6 seconds as Schormans goes up the inside of teammate Gerhardt through turn 2, and Bracken gets past by, Bracken was looking over his shoulder when Edgars Vilkans went past him going through turn 2 as if to see what was happening behind, but Casper Schormans puts on a brilliant defence on Nick Gerhardt as they headed through turn 6. Ethan Jeff Hall keeping them rather honest. So Edgars Vilkans ahead of Tom Bracken in P8. Thomas Straven makes up another position, and that's on the number 221. We've got more retirements coming in. Montego Masson and Richard Thomas next 2 about to be eliminated from this race. So we started with 34. We now have 28 drivers, 6 retirements. 2 on the very first lap. Van der Stroys and Rust. Schoens and Breedveld on lap 3. And Masson and Thomas on lap 4. This is going to be a race of attrition and also a race of survival. Matthijs Turlo has set the fastest lap of anybody on the completion of lap number 6. The driver currently in 3rd position behind Kai Relitz puts in a 55.845, but then Theo Blanc from France puts in a 55.710. The Frenchman down in 23rd behind the 2.96 of Boulouet. So more dramas in this race as Gerhardt's trying to get back on terms with Schormans. 2 SP Motorsport drivers running on the Kart Republic chassis hurdle their way down through to turn 10, the right-hand sweeper, as Ethan Jeff Hall from Strawberry Racing. Keeping in striking distance is the Brit on the 295 entry. Edgars Vilkans now starting to chase them down as he's gotten away slightly from Tom Bracken. So 28 runners and riders still at this track as Nick Gerhardt gets back past Casper Schormans for position. That's for P5. Ethan Jeff Hall using what skills he has to try and keep on pace with them, and he's doing so. Up the inside he goes on Casper Schormans through turn number 6. A great move from the youngster in the 295, making his jump to juniors this season, and definitely showing that he has got initially good raw pace behind the wheel. Edgars Vilkans has closed in. Tom Bracken is not too far behind either. So you'll have 3 carts from Stanpex Motorsport, 1 from RM Latvia and the other one from Strawberry Racing imminently, as Enzo Boll trying to close down on them at the minute. Thomas Strauven has made his way up the order a little bit here, and in terms of the positioning, he's closing on France's Antoine Brogiot, and that's for P11. But Strauven, what could have been. He could have been up in 2nd place ahead of Tom Bracken, but with that turnaround, which I'm sure will get investigated post-race, we have 5 minutes to go, plus an additional lap. The juniors have pulled the pins on the grenades and thrown them in every direction possible. We've had everything in this race so far, and now things are starting to become strategic. And a little bit further back, probably from what might be Thomas Strauven behind him, you've got Max Knappen, Thies Dams, Javi Bach-Machtiuk, Julian Klausmann, Enzo van den Dickenberg, Austin Lee up into 18th, the youngster based in Bavaria, as there goes Ethan Jeff Hall. Nice move up the inside on Nick Gerhards. Gerhards goes for the switchback and gets back through turn 3. Brilliantly timed by Nick Gerhards to get the cutback on Ethan Jeff Hall. So Ethan Jeff Hall got past him, and Nick Gerhards was having none of that at all and decided to fire a warning shot. It was like he threw an ICBM up the inside of Ethan Jeff Hall and got away with it. So that was a great move by Nick Gerhards. We saw his brother Tim pick up his 2020 Junior Rotax Championship trophy last night. The pair, twin brothers, based out of Amsterdam. So Tim making his ways into the upper echelons of karting for 2021, whilst brother Nick remains with us here in Junior Rotax, and he's putting up one hell of a fight. Ethan Jeff Hall back up the inside. The plucky young Brit gets past on the Dutch driver and retakes 5th position, neatly timed. But behind them, Edgars Vilkans has managed to get past Casper Schormans in the meantime. Tom Bracken is at the tail end of this quintet as they hurtle their way down the Europalaan. 3 minutes on the clock remains, plus 1 lap. Stolsamanis, as they say, if the leader's doing a pretty good job, you're not talking about them that much at all, and that much is true because he's got a 9/10 of a second advantage over Kai Rilets, as they'll now be going on to lap number 12 of this race. Fireworks personified here at Karting Genk, and with the sunshine here on Easter Sunday, helping to provide not just temperature to the track, but also temperature on the action happening on the track, as Nick Gerhards returns the favour on Ethan Jeff Hall going through into turn number 2. Edgars Vilkans will be there within the click of her fingers, and there he is. Casper Schormans decides to bolt onto, or nearly bolt onto the back bumper, but without bump drafting, as Vilkans gets a good run on Jeff Hall coming out of turn 6 down the Europalaan. This quintet are going to start fighting, and it's going to get messy. As long as they, well, it'll get messy if someone goes for it, but then Bracken goes up the inside of Schormans to now take 8th position. Tom Bracken has always shown good speed, but he hasn't had the best of luck this weekend. Fastest lap at the moment set by Kai Rilets, 55.543, 3 laps to go on lap number 9, as again this battle for 5th position really heating up as Bracken sends it from absolutely nowhere up the inside of Edgars Vilkans from Latvia. So Bracken really factoring into the battle for what could eventually be 5th, but the top 3, as there goes Ethan Jeff Hall back up the inside of Nick Gerhards, who instantly goes on the switchback counter-offensive and gets the inside line down the Europalaan in the KR chassis. Down back into 5th place goes Nick Gerhards, brilliantly timed. Great racing respect between him and also Ethan Jeff Hall, and there goes Tom Bracken up the inside through turn 9 as Schormans gets past Vilkans. Great racing respect from this quintet of drivers. Absolutely brilliant textbook racing. And now Vilkans trying to go up the inside of Schormans, but Schormans closes the door, going through into turn number 12. We're on the penultimate lap of the race, and Stolsamanis only has a 6.5 tenth of a second advantage over Kai Rielert. So these drivers here are the ones that we really need to keep our eyes on. But that's as long as Kai Rielert doesn't start closing, and he's taken a 0.5 tenth out of the leader. So Rielert's closing on Stolsamanis. And here it is Gerhards, Braken, Jeff Hall. Then you've got Shormans and Wilkans. Timer is about to expire, so next time around, Thomas Stolsamanis will get the final lap board of the weekend. Let's see how close the gap is between him and Kai Rielert. It was 6.5 tenths. It's just over 5.5, as Rielert now knows that time is fast running out to get another victory to seal the deal for the weekend in the right way possible. But even with the second place, it's going to net him a good considerable amount of points and will put him on the top step provisionally of the weekend podium, as the battle for fifth still rages on unabated, as they'll be heading through turn 6 rather quickly. But Stolsamanis has, as soon as he got the lead, has not looked back. But Nick Gerhards has gotten away from the four behind. Braken fending off Jeff Hall. Shormans and Wilkans. Enzo Bold could be with them right now as they make their way through turn 8 for the final time. But we concentrate firstly on the leader after 15 laps of racing. Latvia's Thomas Stolsamanis wins the final race of the BNL Karting Series opening round. Both hands punching the air in celebration. Kai Rielert takes second. Matis Tolo in fourth. Bruno Molders fifth. Nick Gerhards in sixth. Tom Braken and Kasper Schomans in sixth and seventh. Edgars Wilkans pips Ethan Jeff Hall to 8th position. Well, Jeff Hall actually dropped off the back of them and was 0.3 of a second adrift at the checkered flag. Enzo Ball rounds out the top 10 after that one. Strauven recovered after that massive moment with a couple of laps into the race to recover to finish 11th. Antoine Broggio in 12th. Farin Mega in 13th, ahead of Max Knappen. Thies Dams in 15th. And then Javi Bach-Machtjuk, Julian Klosman, Theo Blin, Austin Lee and Vic Stevens rounding out the top 20, completing the 28-strong running order. Well, Luke Nielsen, Enzo van den Dickenberg, Baptiste Levesac, Janis Diak, Bolowitz, Olivier Jonkers, Ralph van der Pevert and Puck Gubbles. But the drivers that did unfortunately retire, Montego Masson and Richard Thomas on lap number 4, Joip Briefeld and Jori Schoens after that heavy whack where Briefeld got T-boned on lap 3. Tommy van der Stroys unfortunately didn't even make it past the first lap, and neither did Devian Drost.